Recently, somebody asked me what I was going to do once I retired. And I think they were expecting a different answer than I gave them. I think they were kind of expecting something big, super exciting, right? That I was going to be a different person than I am now. And, I stopped for a minute before I answered and I kind of thought, no, I'm really just going to continue to be me. And I'm going to have some more time to do the things that I already enjoy doing. And it was just a realization that no, I'm not going to be somebody different. I'm just going to be doing the things I enjoy doing, but I'm going to be doing them for myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Sweet Melba. Thanks for joining me for Sunday on the Porch. It's a nice spring day today. Well, I'm down to 69 days in my retirement countdown, and my retirement date's coming up on June 30th. So it's getting close, right? So, this conversation that I had just recently, just a couple days ago, was, again, you're going to be retiring, right? What are you going to do? And you can kind of just sense that, oh, wow, she's going to say something really exciting. And it wasn't like that, so she might have been a little disappointed, but it was really, and I'd kind of been thinking about this, right? I really don't have any grand plans. I want to continue to do the things that I really enjoy doing. So, after I kind of sat there for a minute and thought about what I was going to say, I said, well, I'm going to continue to do the things I really enjoy doing. And I have projects and things that I've started over the years, and I just haven't had a lot of time to do them. I've been doing work for other people, and granted, I'm fortunate in that my career and my business was built around the things I really enjoy doing. But when you're working for somebody else, doing projects for them, their stuff takes priority, right? So my stuff kind of gets set aside. So it was just a realization that I'm really not going to be any different. You hear a lot of people talk about, well, I've got to find a new purpose or, refine my identity now that I'm retired. And I just don't feel like that's going to be the case for me. I'm going to continue to be who I am and doing the things I like to do. But it was an interesting realization that, the expectation is a little bit different. So specifically for me, when I was saying to her that, I'm going to do the things I really enjoy doing. I love history. I always have. My work is focused around that. I love doing research, and I love, finding out the stories behind different things that have happened, whether that's, current stuff or, history. And I'm going to have lot more time to be able to do that, and research the things that I want to research. Again, I've been fortunate in that the work that I do, I'm able to do research and find those stories and find a way to share that information with others. And that's all been great. I have learned so much. I think you learn so much in that area. But now I'm going to get to be able to do that on the topics and the people and the locations and different points in history that I really enjoy personally. And being able to delve into that and finding creative ways to share that. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's not something new. I'm not going to be anybody different than I am. Again, I'm just going to have more time to be able to do that type of stuff. But certainly, I do want to do more traveling. My husband and I plan to do that. So that's exciting for us. But, I think there really is an expectation when people say, wow, well, what are you going to do when you retire? You kind of hear it in the question, right? That they're looking for some big grand thing. And all those things that I mentioned, those to me are I'm looking forward to, and it might not be as exciting to other people, but um, we're looking forward to it. And so I'm glad that I've kind of realized and that there's not a huge expectation that I'm putting on myself. There may be one out there that other people kind of presume that you're going to say something, big in terms of what you're going to be doing. But uh, I haven't felt that, and for me, it's just really, again, kind of giving myself the time to remember those things that I really enjoy doing and some of those projects I've put on the shelf that I'm going to be able to work on. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm excited to share that when somebody asks. I'm glad to say that. And they may, walk off a little disappointed that, well, that doesn't sound very exciting, but it's exciting to me and it's exciting to my husband. And we're looking forward to being able to do more stuff together. But I'm really looking forward to doing the things I'm good at, the things I enjoy, um, the research and the sharing of stories and where that may go, new exciting things, but doing that type of stuff that I want to do. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think this conversation that I had really what I realized was, retirement doesn't make you somebody else, right? You're not going to become somebody different than who you are. And, yeah, maybe you get to experience some new things that you didn't because you have more time. But I don't I don't think I am going to change in that sense. I'm still going to be me. And again, I'm looking forward to having the time to really look at different ways that I can share what I enjoy doing with other people. Um, it's not, I can do that based on other people's interests too. I did recently did some research for a friend of my husband's, which was fun. I just love doing that, right? Information that he had always wanted to know about, some family members and whatnot, and so I was able to do some research for him. But I get the enjoyment out of those activities, and I don't have to be paid to do that, right? And I want to be able to, again, pick those activities that I want to do when I want to do them. And that, I'm not locked in on a schedule that, I'm doing other stuff for other people. So, again, my interests, hopefully, I'll have some new interests, right? As you try, new things. But I don't think my interests are going to change so much that all of a sudden I'm somebody different, that my identity is something different than I was. And hopefully, by being able to focus more on those types of activities that I enjoy, that I get the opportunity to maybe share that with more people. Building more connections with people and through different generations, and having the opportunity to travel to some different places that from a history standpoint I enjoy. So I really, again, don't foresee me changing. I'm still me, right? But again, I think retirement, so many people, when you talk about retirement, they really do expect, like, all of a sudden, you're going to be different. That, hopefully you'll be a little more relaxed, right? That's a good thing. But that you aren't the person you were. And I just don't feel that's going to be the case with me. And I don't know that that's the case with a lot of people. But I think there definitely is that expectation. And I have to admit, when she asked me the question, um, part of me was like, well, I'm going to disappoint her, I think, with my answer. But I was, again, excited to share the response. But I think everybody thinks it needs to be something big. And maybe that's what I thought too, right? You hear so much of that. Um, and somebody's going to move off to a different country, or they're going to buy a motorhome and travel around the United States or whatever, and that's all great, right? But it sounds big, right? So I think a lot of people kind of expect that. And I guess I did too, in a certain respect. And the more I've thought about it as I'm kind of going through my, 90 days to retirement here, that that's just really not what is going to happen in my case. And I hope I don't disappoint people. I mean, not that that, has a big deal for me, but I hope maybe, my response kind of gives people a different perspective on it. That it doesn't have to be the big stuff, it can be the small things, the things we really enjoy doing. And again, just having the time to be able to do those and share those with other people. That can be just as exciting as if you were doing some big thing and moving to some other place or whatnot. But I hope that by again, by me sharing that and sharing here that, you know, our retirement is what we make it, right? And it's the things we enjoy doing and having the time to do them. And it doesn't need to look like somebody else's retirement. And I've said that before in some of my other videos. And I really do believe that. I think we all do this the way we want to do our retirement and find those things and activities that we really want to do and make the most of it. So when you think about your retirement, if you're planning retirement, what are those things that you want to be doing? What are you looking forward to spending your time on? Whether those are big or not. I'd love for you to share in the comments. You never know what somebody else's activity might be of interest to you. So I hope you'll share in the comments. And if you are retired already, did you kind of have that awareness that what you may have thought in the beginning about what retirement was going to be like is different, and what you found to be most enjoyable once you got there. So again, I'd love for you to share in the comments. But I think for me, this particular conversation really brought to light for me that we're who we are, and we're going to do the things we want to do and the enjoyments that we have, and we just have a lot more time to do it when we're retired. So I think that's good, and I don't think that we become somebody different. We continue to be who we are, and we find more time to do what we love to do. So thanks for joining me for Sunday on the Porch, and I hope that you'll join me next week as I share again some more on my countdown to retirement on June 30th. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.